The Iran war abroad and rising domestic costs are now converging into a political storm for Donald Trump, raising serious questions about how much damage this twin pressure could inflict on him domestically. New polling numbers are now adding to that pressure, showing that 62% of Americans disapprove of Trump, with concerns over the Iran war and inflation emerging as the biggest drivers behind this shift in public sentiment. With just months to go before the midterm elections, these numbers are beginning to cast a shadow over Trump's political standing, prompting fresh questions about whether his position is now under real threat. And even as these concerns grow, Trump has chosen to push back, dismissing such polls as fake news. But the question remains whether this is just rhetoric or a deeper disconnect from what Americans are actually feeling.
It's fake press. They give me fake polls. They tell me about polls and this. It's interesting. They did a poll on the war with Iran, and they said only 32% of the people like it. Well, I don't like it, and I don't like war at all.
US President Donald Trump's disapproval ratings have now surged to record highs, as the combined pressure of the Iran war and a worsening economic situation begins to weigh heavily on public sentiment back home. A new poll conducted by The Washington Post, ABC News, and Ipsos has shown that Trump's disapproval rating has climbed to 62%, marking a significant moment in his current term. The survey, which was published by The Washington Post on May 4th, also indicated that Trump's approval rating stands at just 37%, highlighting a widening gap between support and opposition. The same poll revealed that as many as 66% of Americans disapprove of Trump's handling of the Iran war, suggesting growing unease over the direction and outcome of the conflict. Even more striking were the ratings on economic issues, where 76% disapproved of his handling of the cost of living and 72% disapproved of his management of inflation, according to reports citing the poll. These figures bring Trump back to a familiar political moment, with his overall disapproval now matching levels recorded by Gallup after his loss to Joe Biden and the fallout of the Capitol riots. A similar drop in ratings was seen in 2020, when Trump faced widespread criticism over his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic and the killing of George Floyd, both of which triggered nationwide unrest. Despite these numbers, Trump has pushed back strongly, dismissing polls from major outlets and repeatedly labeling them as fake news in public remarks and online posts.
You know, as you probably heard, the fake news media treats me very, very badly. 93% of the stories I get are bad, and yet I won in a landslide. How do you win all 7 swing states when you get only bad press? It's fake press. They give me fake polls. They tell me about polls and this. It's interesting. They did a poll on the war with Iran, and they said only 32% of the people like it. Well, I don't like it, and I don't like war at all, but we're equipped better than it. We have the greatest military in the world. You saw what happened with Venezuela. You see what happens with everything. But they said 32% of the people are against President Trump. Well, when you explain it, like, is it okay for Iran to have a nuclear weapon? It wouldn't be 32%. But even if you said that, there'd be a 32% because the polls are fake. I mean, they're totally fake. And when you take a look at what's really going on, the other day I made a speech in a great Florida senior citizens community, and I made another one at the Kravis Center, 2 in one day. It was wonderful. I go out and make a speech. Then I say, all right, let's go home. Sir, you're making another speech, and this one's in front of the richest people in the world. I went from an unbelievable group of seniors. Now, of course, I'm not a senior. I'm far younger than a senior. It's true. I feel the same as I felt 50 years ago. I don't know. There'll be a period of time when I don't tell you that. There'll be, because I'm honest, I'll say, it's not looking good. I have to be careful. If I said, as an example, I'm not feeling well, they put on, Donald Trump is not feeling well, because they won't know that I'm using that as just a reference point.
Still, the polling data points to a deeper trend, with growing public anger over Trump's handling of the Iran war becoming increasingly visible across voter groups. At the same time, voters are also expressing dissatisfaction with his economic decisions, especially as inflation continues to bite into household budgets. On May 4th, US gas prices climbed to $4.46 per gallon, a spike that is being linked to ongoing disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz, which remains partially blocked due to the conflict. Experts are now warning that the US could be heading toward a second wave of inflation, driven by energy shocks and supply disruptions tied to the war. Another key shift is being seen among independent voters, who appear to be turning away from Trump as disapproval numbers continue to rise.
Everybody was wrong. They thought that energy would be at $300, right? $300 a barrel, and it's like at 100. And I think going down, and I see it going down very substantially when this is over, Chris. And I think very rapidly too, at levels that you've never seen, because there's a lot of energy out there. Of ships all over the world that are loaded up with it. They can't do much with it because they got kidnapped by a pretty evil place, but we're taking care of it.
Earlier polling by Reuters and Ipsos in March had already suggested limited support for the war, with only about 1 in 4 Americans backing the conflict at that stage. Support for Trump's initial strike on Iran was also sharply divided along party lines, with 55% of Republicans backing it compared to just 7% of Democrats. Since then, as the war in Iran has moved into a prolonged and uncertain phase, Trump's approval ratings have steadily declined. All of this is unfolding just 6 months before the October midterm elections, raising the stakes significantly for both Trump and his party as voters head toward a critical political moment.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry guards.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.